Today, we're going to talk about your big butt. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us here at Traces of Hollywood. As you might have guessed, we are going to visit a famous filming location. It's from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and it's the Cabazon Dinosaurs just outside of Palm Springs, California. And this is where large Marge dropped Pee-wee off, and also where he walked into the diner and proclaimed, "Large Marge sent me." The diner itself is called the Wheel Inn, and it was a real location. It wasn't a movie set, and even the interiors were actually used. And it was located right here, so you can see how close it really was to the dinosaur. So what we would call in Hollywood a practical set, rather than something that was built on a backlot. And just to give you a little bit of background, the dinosaurs were actually created by a gentleman named Claude Bell, who used to make sand castles on the beach in Atlantic City, New Jersey, where he grew up, and later came to California and created some of the first statuary at Knott's Berry Farm. So you can see here some of his sculpting prowess. But Knott's Berry Farm, if you're not familiar, is very similar to Disneyland, but sort of on a smaller scale, but it's an amusement park in Southern California. Here are some shots. We'll be walking up into the Brontosaur, which is a gift shop presently. And Mr. Bell was inspired by Lucy the Elephant, which was a structure in New Jersey on the boardwalk that he used to admire as a kid. And he always wanted to create something like that, being a sculptor and an artist himself. So he started with the dinosaur that we are in now, called Diney, D-I-N-N-Y. And he finished Diney in 1975 and decided to go ahead and add another piece later after the popularity of Diney. It became a local tourist attraction, so he thought, why not? Let's add something else. Quick reference here, I love these little miniature sculptures that line the walls as you go up and down into the gift shop, and there are a few other creative pieces scattered around the location here. And here's a little information on the sign about the Cabazon dinosaurs. And for a while it was a creationist museum, but they have since removed that, and that was after Mr. Bell sold the property. It became a creationist museum around 2005, but it wasn't very popular apparently, so they've toned that down, and now there is another location in the back where you can buy tickets. I believe it's around $15, but you don't have to pay for anything that we are seeing today. So you can go up into the gift shop and have a look and wander this path following the dinosaur footsteps. So rather menacingly, we see these Tyrannosaurus footsteps that lead back here to Mr. Rex, as he's called. And he was completed in 1986. So Mr. Rex is pretty impressive. Actually, both of these pieces are. They are concrete that was blown over steel structures. And of course, many of you probably recognize that face from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Here's another close-up of some of the sculpting. And here's Pee-wee walking with Simone, played by Diane Salinger, walking in front of Mr. Rex. And famously, they went and watched the sunrise through his mouth. We'll show some images of that in a moment. But here's where they walked in. Again, these are pretty much untouched. They do paint them pretty regularly, but in the film, they walked up through here. Now, this is actually a set. The T-Rex mouth is much smaller than what we see here, so this was filmed on a studio backlot rather than in the dinosaurs. themselves, but a very famous scene where Pee-wee asks Simone about her regrets and let's talk about your big butt, which of course her boyfriend overhears and gets really upset at Pee-wee and then chases him off. And one of the most memorable scenes, along with the very famous large Marge scene that took place immediately before the scenes with Simone. Now, of course, who can forget the famous monologue from Large Marge? On this very night, 10 years ago, along this same stretch of road in a dense fog just like this, I saw the worst accident I ever seen. There was a sound like a garbage truck dropped off the Empire State Building, and when they finally pulled the driver's body from the twisted, burning wreck, it looked like this. Sorry I had to do that to you all. Anyway, here's the sign for the Wheel Inn, the famous sign. Also very classic roadside Americana in so many ways. But you can see the golf station still exists behind it. The Wheel Inn opened originally in 1958, and here's some cool postcards from back when it was a functioning stop for tourists traveling between LA and Palm Springs. And if you look to the right there, that's all that's left, that rubble. There are some other channels, Adam the Woo, Jordan the Lion, that had done some visits out before it was demolished. But sadly, it closed in 2013, and there were some plans. It was going to be turned into some other viable business supposedly, but by 2015, demolition started, and by 2016, it was no more. I hope you guys enjoyed this end of August 2024 update on the Cabazon Dinosaurs and the Wheel Inn from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Please hit subscribe, it'll help the channel grow, and we do have a Patreon that you can find linked from the page description if you're interested. See you next time.